Stephen threads the needle fast. Walter's got the fabric stash. Quilter flying colors splash. Pins and patches, stories grow. Stitching secrets we all know. Patchwork of laughter sewn in time. A spool of joy on every line. We chat, we sew, we laugh, we thrive. Stephen and Walter, our life. Sewing tales with every square. Buttons falling everywhere. A crooked seam, but who will care? Iron presses lined so neat. Friendships quilt can't be beat. Patchwork of laughter sewn in time. A spool of joy on every line. We chat, we sew, we laugh, we thrive. Stephen and Walter, our life. Sewing tales with every square. Buttons falling everywhere. A crooked seam, but who will care? Iron presses lined so neat. Friendships quilt can't be beat. Patchwork of laughter sewn in time. A spool of joy on every line. We chat, we sew, we laugh, we thrive. Stephen and Walter, our life. Our Stitch by stitch they weave the tale. A patchwork life where laughs prevail. Patterns clash, but who can tell? Quilted chaos suits us well. Stephen and Walter live on air. Threading humor, they don't care. Teaching, chatting, pulling strings. Life's a quilt of funny things. Pins and needles, jokes abound. Sewing secrets they have found. Fabric flying all around. It's a show where joy is bound. Stephen and Walter live on air. Threading humor, they don't care. Teaching, chatting, pulling strings. Life's a quilt of funny things. Pins and needles, jokes abound. Sewing secrets they have found. Fabric flying all around. It's a show where joy is bound. Stephen and Walter live on air. Threading humor, they don't care. Teaching, chatting, pulling strings. Life's a quilt of funny things. Pins and needles, jokes abound. Sewing secrets they have found. Fabric flying all around. It's a show where joy is bound. Pins and needles, jokes abound. Sewing secrets they have found. Fabric flying all around.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Walter reminded me to turn the mute off on the microphone. So He remembered today to tell me. So I hope everybody is staying cool if it's really hot in your area. In our area, well, it's 27 right now, and that's cooler than it has been. So
Yeah, it's not as humid today, I don't think.
no, I don't think it is. That well, they said the humidity was going to be cut, but I think next week it goes up again. But anyways, I see that there's a few hot people on here because they've said so. So let's see who's with us. We've got Nina is here and Betty says that in Eastern Ohio it's been so hot here. It's in the 90s. Rain looks great. Inez is here and Beverly is here too. Another hot afternoon in North Carolina. And Glenna Miller says it's hot and humid in O'Fallon, Missouri. Gloria is here, and Arta is here as well. And it's sunny in San Diego. It's about time we got some warm weather here. Oh, okay. There's the other extreme. I would have thought San Diego would have been pretty hot. Suzanne is here and Karen B is here as well. Kim is here from the East Coast and she says it is hot in Nova Scotia. Mary is here. Greetings from Virginia, she says. And Dubrovka is here as well. Sunny, beautiful Timmins. And Judy is here. And Faith. And Art East is here. That's John. John is here. Oh, can't say anything negative about his quilt. Okay. Ah. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Yes, I am. I have a love-hate relationship with you, John. We'll talk. And Sue's here. Hi, Sue. And Mary as well is here too. And it's overcast in Cape Breton, John says. And Judy's here. And as says on the rock, it is cool and damp there. And Caroline is here.
That's
and Charlotte. What?
27 today, which works out to about 80 Fahrenheit.
Yeah, well, that's not.
And it's
too
not
bad
as
for
humid.
July.
Yeah, the last few days it's been really humid, but today it's not so bad.
Yeah, today it's kind of pleasant. We went out for a long walk today and it was kind of actually okay.
Yeah.
It wasn't humid, and so it was very pleasant there. So welcome everybody. Glad you are here. So let's take a quick little teasers about projects. I got projects coming out of my yin yang lately.
Where's your yin yang?
Never mind. I'm not telling you. I'm not showing you either. So
I didn't know you had a yin yang.
I do. But you're never going to see it. Okay, so let us take a look at what I have been working on. I got to find my pictures here. There we are. And here we go. And let's put it down here. So, Japanese quilt, the top, the flimsy, is done. There it is with its sashing and with its borders. Now the next thing is, down the road, I have to figure out how I'm going to quilt it. And I've had a lot of suggestions from people who saw it before I got the outside borders on it. And I was mentioning this last week. And I've had some people say you could do ruler foot quilting on it, like straight line kind of a thing. I can't do edge to edge with Lucy because some of those pieces are embroidered and they're very heavy.
Yeah, the designs inside the square are embroidered, so
yeah,
they could cause a problem.
Yeah, it would make Lucy like jump all over the place. There is negative space. I mean, I could do some custom, and when I say I do custom, it would not be like free motion quilting custom with Walter. He doesn't feel that he is up to yet doing free motion quilting on a quilt like this. And I don't know if I'm up to having him do that either.
Yeah, I don't want to wreck it.
Yeah. But I think I could play with the computer on Lucy and get it to do something in and around the appliques and the embroidery stuff. I don't know. Somebody suggested I just do stitch in the ditch, which I could do that with the ruler foot on it, right on Lucy, which is not such a bad idea because there's not a lot of space to do like quilting in this. I mean, it's got to have quilting because it's got to hold the layers together and something in the borders as well. But I've got some ideas in my head, but right now it's hanging out in the Lucy room, and it may hang there for a while because Walter's still working. Well, supposed to be working.
Yeah, I haven't done any yet for a bit. I bet it's on my mind, so I'm getting geared up to do it. Actually, I could have done it last night.
Yeah, you could have, but you didn't.
I didn't. No.
Yeah, you didn't. So, anyways, before you lose the muscle memory
No.
on that. So that's one project. This I just finished. I did a Christmas table runner. No, it is not too soon to think about Christmas. These things
Creep
take
up on
time.
you.
Yep, and I'll say more about this next week on the Idiot Quilter and that. It's an In the Hoop project. Then here we have the first part of the Art East installment for Second Star to the Right. This is John with his hat. I have found for me the way that I can handle all the cutting, because you know I do not like the cutting. Like the end result, don't like the cutting. I've divided it up into little sections according to John's pattern, and I only cut the pieces for that little section, and then I put that little section together and go on to the next little section. And what I find is it isn't as overwhelming for me to do it. Now, that's not everybody's method. That's my method of tackling it. And so far, this has been working a little bit better, because I'll be honest about it. This fills me with dread. I'm happy when I get a block done and everything, but then the next month comes up and you're going, oh God, I gotta cut. I gotta cut. And I am not a person who loves the cutting. So yeah. But I found if I do it this way, then it doesn't make it seem insurmountable, and I don't get discouraged or, feel that big dark cloud hanging over my head with it. This is not a reflection on John or this pattern. It's great. I mean, I love John's patterns. They are so interesting and so exciting. And I've said this before, when you buy a pattern or a kit and get involved with doing one of these as a block of the month or whatever, you aren't just paying for a pattern and a kit. You're getting involved with an experience. This is kind of like a quilting destination here when you're working on this, because of the community that John has created and all the activities he has that go along with it as well. Now, I haven't been able to participate in everything that John has put up lately, mainly because I have other projects that I'm working on too, as you'll see. But nobody else that I know of does this like John does. It is an experience, the whole thing. So those of you who have been, hesitant about being involved in something like this, be warned, there's a lot of cutting, but you can manage it, and you can immerse yourself into this quilt because there's so much of it. It goes way beyond just putting a quilt together. Okay, so that's another thing. So I started some more. Do you notice that I'm kind of leaning in towards Christmas again? This is an In the Hoop tile scene. There are 3 tiles. I've got 2 of them done. I'm working on the 3rd one sort of as we speak. But this will become a wall hanging. And I'll say more about the process for this on Idiot Quilter on Tuesday. And I am working on an Adam Sews pattern, the jelly roll pattern that he has. But I'm changing it. Well, I'm not really changing it. I am doing it in a little different way. Adam has it all structured out so that, you do it in whatever background colors you want, whatever jelly roll you want to use, or if you don't want to use a jelly roll, he's got instructions for cutting the strips from yardage as well. I'm using a jelly roll, and I'm making it kind of scrappy with the way the colors go. My way of putting it together looks a little different from Adam's because Adam used solids. And when you use solids and the way you put it together, it doesn't look like a woven star.
It looks like a solid star.
Yeah, it looks like a solid star. Oh, very good. Yeah. but when you put it together like I am, it looks more like a woven star. And I have decided that I am going to do this on point as well. So the first half of the quilt, as it works down on point, will be with the white backgrounds. Then when we get to the row in the middle, it'll be half white, half black background for the transition to the second half of the quilt, which will be the black background. So you see the 3 different blocks there. I mean, they're all the same block. It's just a different placement of color with it. I think it's going to look pretty good when I get that done. It's a pretty easy pattern, easy to follow the instructions with it, and it goes by fairly quickly because you can do a lot of chain stitching with this. I haven't worked that far ahead of it yet because I've been working on the other projects too. But yeah, I think this is going to look really quite good. So that's Adam's pattern, and it's available on his website, and it's called Jelly Roll Stars. Okay, so those are the things I've been working on. Oh, don't want to go there yet. Okay, let's see who's here and what are people saying. Who have we missed coming in? Oops, I guess I got to go over here, don't I? So we can see this a little better. Okay, so while we were talking, who came in? Let's see. Judy's here. I said hello to Mary. Pull it down. Charlotte is here. Gloria says Japanese quilt is beautiful. Thank you, Gloria. Faith says we have a flood warning, but no rain. Okay. Don't know how that works. Hope you don't go underwater, Faith. Inez says beautiful in all its glory. Thank you. Charlotte says bravo. Love your quilt. Okay. Japanese quilt, Sue says, looks fantastic. Love your final border choice. Thank you. And all those are the Japanese fabrics that I bought when we were in Japan, with the exception of a couple in which are Japanese fabrics, but I bought them here. I ordered them special from a place that deals in Japanese fabrics. Tate YS Nan. Katie YZ Nan? I don't know. Hello, Tate. I don't think you've ever been here before. If you have, I've never seen you in chat. But anyways, if this is your first time, you're welcome. And if this is the first time in chat, welcome. Debbie says, honestly, Miss Stephen, I would just do an echo stitch around the stars and squares. Yes, I have thought about that as well. But to do an echo stitch, if you were to do it around the embroidered parts, if that's what you're talking about, that would be free motion, because I can't program the computer to do that, and I'm no good at free motion.
I'm not sure if I would be able to do an echo stitch. I have trouble doing an echo stitch.
But if you're talking about just doing an echo around the actual squares, maybe you could do like...
I would do stitch in a ditch rather than doing an echo, because that's pretty busy as it is. Like, I think if you had a more plain pattern and you wanted to do an echo stitch around it to emphasize that thing, I think that would work better.
Yeah. Well, I think I'm leaning towards more or less just doing a stitch in the ditch, or stitching about the ditch. Because that would be, and I'll use a really light colored thread just to give it texture. And I'll use a ruler to keep my line straight with that. So that may be what I'll do. But I haven't made a final decision yet. Let's see. Pat's here. Hi, Pat. And Joanne G is here. Debbie says just enough to hold it together. It's so pretty on its own. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, Debbie. That I don't know why it does that, but it does. It goes. It's like there's a delay, but it's not a delay here, so I don't know.
It's not on here. So.
Anyways, we're just talking about the technology that's happening here that you can't see. Let's see. Yeah, just to hold it together, and yeah. Thanks, Pat. Artist says, Stephen, the Japanese quilt's very beautiful. Thank you. Colleen's here. Hi, Colleen. Oh, yeah, I haven't read ahead. That's right. There's some embroidery. Got to do for John's glasses. Ooh, ick on the character. Well, it'll be a new adventure. Because I don't do hand stitching of any kind, but we'll see how that works out. Joanne G says it would be nice if it was pre-cut. Yes, I assume you're talking about the
Artist.
yeah, the second star to the right. Yeah, well, I can imagine though that would make the kit cost a lot more because there are so many pieces with that. So yeah,
Maybe you would like a pre-piece too.
that oh, well, there would be an idea. Yeah. Let's see. Inez says, "Wow, this is beautiful. I love Christmas." And Betty Kennedy says, "The quilt is looking good. Can't wait till you get it completed and show us." Okay. Yep. You will see it. Jeannie's here. Hi, Jeannie. Adam's here. Hi, Adam. Says, "Love your fabric choices for this, Stephen. Which one you talking about, Adam? Your pattern or the Japanese quilt?" Quilter 7939 is here. And Dubrovnik says, "Beautiful work. Thank you." Judy, the other Judy, she's here from Southern Michigan. And Randy and Sue are here. Like Walter's shirt. Steven's shirt is nice, but Walter's is better. It's okay. He made them both.
His is a little bit more
Mine's
faded.
vintage.
And actually, this one's vintage. It's one of the first ones I've done because I didn't match the pocket on this one.
Yeah. In fact, we were in Ultimate Sewing yesterday, and they had a quilt on display for an upcoming class, and they did it with the same fabric as the shirt.
I told them to go stand next to it.
Yeah. Should have taken a picture.
Yeah.
Didn't think about that at the time. Well, I was busy talking to Donna about the quilt from hell. And we know which one I'm talking about, the Alaska quilt. And funny thing too, just about the Alaska quilt, I haven't returned to it yet. Donna gave me some tips. We were up at another quilt store north of us, the Quilter's Cupboard. And while they were cutting some fabric for me, Walter says, "Oh, look, there's the Alaska quilt pattern." It was on display. And I went, "Oh God, the quilt from hell." And the owner of the store, I think she's the owner, she said, "Oh yeah," she said, and I says, "I've had so much trouble with that." And she says, "Well, apparently there's been a lot of people come into their store that have it too and have had the same problem. They're all having problem, but there is one lady I think that works in that store, and she teaches a class doing this." And I asked her, is she using the ruler that Edna Sitar developed for it, or are they using the templates, or are they using the Deb Tucker 180 Studio rulers? Because some people have been using those, and they seem to have much more success with the Deb Tucker rulers because they make the pieces oversized, so when you trim them down, you don't lose your points, like I've been having trouble with that. And she says she wasn't sure, but this one woman, she teaches it, but a lot of people have complained about it. And so many people have complained about that have never done one of this Sitar's patterns before. They say they don't want to try another one. Again, I'm one of those people too. I won't do another one of her patterns. And it's not just the fact that it's so difficult to put together. It is the way she writes her instructions. They're horribly written. She doesn't know how to write instructions. And
yeah, I mean, that's not very good advertisement. If you do a pattern that somebody's put out and it's poorly written, you don't want to do another pattern, then
yeah, well, that's the thing, But I think she's a little bit arrogant from other things I've read and seen and watched on YouTube, and doesn't take constructive criticism well. And basically, it's sort of a FU attitude about it. So, okay, good to know that she at least has a big enough following. She doesn't have to care about anybody else, whatever that works. So, if you write a pattern, you really got to take into consideration that the people doing your pattern don't know as much about it as you do, which is kind of illogical, right? You're the creator of it. Like, no problem with John's patterns, with the way they're written. No problem with the way Adam's patterns are written. Clear, know what they're doing. You can follow them. It's great. No problem. But then you get these other ones out there, and, and they just don't take constructive criticism about it. You'd think they would. So, and writing patterns are not easy. I know. I've written a few myself, and it's not an easy task to do. But if you're going to do it right. Okay, so let's see who came. Anybody can? Oh, Branka is here. She's not feeling well. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Branka. Hope it's nothing too serious. So moving on. What's Walter working on?
Nothing right now.
What
Well, I have a shirt on the go, but I haven't worked on it for a bit.
He's been busy coordinating home repairs because we have a few that we had. Postman came.
Oh, yeah.
And he fixed our fence post.
The guy, yeah, fence posts. We had 2 fence, but we have a wooden fence, and it's getting older.
Well, it's been there 30 years.
Yeah, and one side has had a post leaning for quite a while, and the neighbor tried to fix it, and now it was leaning worse after he tried to fix it. So, and then while we were in Japan, I guess there was a fairly violent windstorm while we were gone, and it caused one of the other fence posts on the other side of the yard to break or fall over or something, and the neighbor propped it back up again. And so I called a guy that
The postman.
Yeah, the postman. They do a repair to the post, and I wanted it especially for the other one, because the one that severed when we were in Japan, you couldn't really tell if you looked at it that it was severed. But the one on the other side that the neighbor tried to fix was leaning really badly, and before it would hit my new shed.
Which is that's very important. But
so I tried this guy, and they put an alternative fix to it, and it seems to be working very well. And he was done in about 40 minutes, and that was really great.
Yeah, and he did a really good job. And they put this steel bracket thing that's kind of shaped like a Z.
Well, sort of like a sitting person.
Yeah, I guess. Okay, a sitting person, whatever. I see Z, you see sitting person, whatever. Yeah. Anyways, he digs down next to the post, I guess, and
it puts in a foundation next to the post, the existing post, drills a great big hole, and then bolts this piece of metal to the fence, and part of the piece of metal goes down into the hole and fills it with cement. So it's like adding a second foundation.
Yeah. It's probably the strongest part of the fence.
Actually, it seems to work really good.
Yeah, so that's one thing off the list. Next week, we've got a guy coming to clean the crap out of our eave troughs because we're having a little problem with backed up water in them. And over the last week, we've had a fair amount of rain and heavy rain. And so it comes in and leaks down into the Lucy room, which isn't good. Like,
luckily, it's the unfinished area of the basement. So,
and it's not like it's coming through the ceiling. It comes down somehow down the side of the wall and gets in, and it goes under Walter's workbench out there, and starts to make a little river across the concrete floor, moving its way closer and closer to Lucy.
I have a bucket under there now, so
yeah. I mean, it's not a lot of water, but it's
enough
water
to annoy you.
Yeah. And we got a towel down there soaking that up. It's not like, we're not talking here like inches and inches, just a little trickle, but we don't want that. So this guy's coming to scoop the crap out of our gutters. He's been here before and did it a few years ago as well. So Walter has some questions to ask him about,
I think I'm getting new eave troughs.
We're thinking about getting new eave troughs put on. Yeah, because these are the originals. Been here
and they weren't installed very well.
No, so. Builder stuff, they never do. Doesn't matter how much you watch it. So let's see. So Walter's been busy coordinating all that, and now his next project too after that is to get rid of our hot tub, which means you have to take apart
have to take apart our deck is 12 feet off the ground, and we have a hot tub underneath it. So, and I enclosed it all around the hot tub. Of course, now we've got to get rid of the hot tub. I have to unenclose it.
because you can't get it out unless you
Yeah.
unenclose it. So, which is basically screening and privacy lattices
Yeah.
there. But you did screw all those panels in when you first did it. So
Mhm.
now you just have to unscrew them. Of course, they've been there for quite a long
They've
time.
been there for a while.
We may have
so,
to get out the spray, or not spray nine, the WD-40
Yeah.
to loosen those off. Em is here. Hi, Em. And Dan is here.
No,
Greeting.
no crack in the basement. It's
No.
actually coming in through a sliding glass door on the second floor.
Yeah.
It's backing. What is it? It's backing. What happens is the eave trough overflows, and then it flows off into the soffits on the other side, and the soffits seem to be leaning towards the house, and it runs into where the sliding glass door is, runs down the side of the sliding glass door, through a crack in the floor, and into the basement.
Yeah. So, yeah, we've had this problem for a bit of time here. So I said, Em is here. Dan is here. She says, greetings to all. 30 degrees C, beautiful sun and light breeze, zero gravity lounger on my balcony. Okay, I need someone to explain to me, and probably Dan is the best. What is a zero gravity lounger? The reason I ask is, you know that we got a new bed, and we've got one that raises up and goes down, and there's a button on the remote control for this, amongst other settings, and there's one that's called zero gravity. Now, I have pushed the button, and just as far as
I think it sort of makes you lay in such a way that you're at an even.
Okay, I pushed the button.
Yeah.
I just feel like I'm laying flat. So
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, I'm not floating around the room. That was a
Oh
disappointment.
yeah. By the way, our basement is above ground, so
Yeah, and hopefully above water. But yeah, that too. So explain to me zero gravity lounger. Adam says, oh, are you replacing your human soup bowl? I'm just kidding. Okay, well, you know what you get when you put 4 lepers in a hot tub? Porridge. Or if you put 4 old people in it, same thing, kind of a deal. Yeah. Yeah, we don't use the hot tub anymore. We haven't for several years
I still have
now.
it filled, but
Yeah, it's still there. I mean, it works still, although
it leaks really bad.
it does. Yeah, it does leak. I mean, we've had it for almost 30 years.
Well, yeah, it'd be
Well,
about 27
25,
years.
27. So, I mean, we got our money's worth out of it
Yeah.
over time. When we were younger, yeah, it was the thing to do. You know, everybody was in the hot
fun.
tub. You sat out there in the middle. Yeah, I did like sitting in it on really cold weather.
Yeah, minus 30 weather, and
Yeah,
you're
when you're-
sitting out there,
When a
and
wine
you're
slushy.
and your wine turns into a slushy.
Mm-hmm.
So
But now it's like you get to a certain age where getting in's not so bad, getting out's not easy. And, well, the novelty's gone. So it's time to get rid of it. And then we have all this space under there, and we haven't decided how we're going to redecorate under there. Because we have a sitting area in that area in there too,
yeah,
as well.
yeah, we have we live in a raised bungalow, so the front of the house is only half buried into the ground, and the backyard, the back of the house is above ground.
Yeah.
So,
And it's a walkout, so
yeah.
and all that. So we have to figure that out. There's always something to figure out. And we've already decided when we get these things out of the way that we're going to start on the bringing the house into the 21st century. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, we've got a few things that we would need to get done in the house, and we have sort of a plan now as to where to start, and
We're going to start with the fireplace we have in our formal living room. It's got a mantle.
It's a gas fireplace.
It's a gas fireplace. It's done its time. It still works, although it has developed a new quirk where it will turn itself off.
We had that happen once before, and
Yeah.
the guy came and fixed it.
I think it may be the thermistor
Yeah.
or whatever. It gets to a certain, but because this particular fireplace does not have a thermostat.
No.
So, in fact, it used to get so hot, and still does. The cat, when we had the cat, she loved the fireplace. And she'd come running when she heard us turning it on, and she'd lay right down on the hearth in front of it and absorb the heat. there was so much heat, and she'd lay there. She would not move from
We
it.
had roasted pussy.
You touched her, you burned your hand. I'm not kidding. Her fur, it's a wonder she didn't like spontaneously combust like there, Ash Kitty, but she just loved it. She couldn't get enough heat, that cat. But anyways, she's gone. So we want to go modern and minimalist. We have another fireplace in the house down here in our rec room area, which is very modern. It doesn't have a mantle. It doesn't have a hearth. It's set into the wall, that kind of thing. So we want to have something not necessarily exactly the same, but we want to go with the minimalist, very modern look, which of course, leads to a lot of things, because that's going to be our focal point in that room. That means
Well, I think that's the first thing we have to do.
yeah, then we have to decorate around it, which means that I'm already looking at thinking, oh, we have carpeting in there that we probably want to pull up and put hardwood down. We do have hardwood in part of our house that we put in.
And then the stairs need to be done,
And the
because
stairs need to be
carpet
done.
run into the stairs.
Yeah,
And then we have the landing to be done.
and then we have painting that needs to be done. And then, of course, the furniture we have just won't work. Just won't go with it, with the minimalist look. We have a granny couches and chairs. Like at the time,
An old lady couch.
in 1995, they were just the height, and they're actually really good pieces of furniture.
Yeah, we might want to get it covered.
Yeah, I was thinking of that too. We might just have it because I like them, but the upholstery on it is like the day it was brand new, because we never sit in there. Only rarely are we ever really in that room. Our dining room is there too. They're all one big room kind of a thing. So the dining table and everything is at one end, and then everything else is at the other end with the fireplace. So yeah, but they're well-built pieces of furniture, and there's hardly any wear on them whatsoever. But it would cost us, but when you buy furniture now, everything is made out of like popsicle sticks. It doesn't last. Whereas this is made out of real wood and stuff like that. So it might be worth, even what it costs, might be worth to have it recovered and everything like that. We'll see. But then it all leads down the road. One thing leads to another. We have bathrooms that need to be done. Japanese toilets that need to be installed. Maybe.
Yeah, we're going to start with the bathrooms originally, but I think we need to start with the front room first.
Yeah.
And then...
So we're going to set up a GoFundMe for all of you people to donate to bringing our house into the 21st century. Thank you very much, everybody, in advance for your donations. Yeah, I'm kidding. Sherry's here. Hi, Sherry. Let's see. Oh, John says no more hot tub stitching parties. Your sewing machine just doesn't float in there. Adam says, shame we didn't even get invited, John. You're always welcome here if you're in the area. It may not be a hot tub, but, we have other things in the house to keep you amused. I don't know. So, yeah, you're always welcome here. Randy says, gutter guards might help. Well,
I've been looking. I have talked to the guy that does the gutter cleaning and stuff. Gutter guards aren't necessarily a solution either.
No,
because you can get crap on them too. So
yeah. See, we have a lot of leaves that blow onto our roof.
we don't have that many leaves actually.
Well, what's causing the plug?
Well, there are some leaves that are doing it.
Dead mice? What?
No.
I
But
hear
yeah,
them
I
tumbling.
know. I mean, we could look at gutter guards too, but I'm not sure.
Well, what kind of gutter guards? Not that leaf guard stuff.
No, apparently leaf guards. See, the other part of the problem is our roof is pitched really high.
Yeah, it's very steep.
Right,
Roof.
it's a very steep roof, and so water runs off. It won't go into the gutter guard; it'll shoot off the end of the roof. Right, so it manages to get into the eaves troughs, but that's the other problem. You get a gutter guard, and it won't. It'll shoot off the end of the roof. So.
Yeah, because it's very steep. It's like surfs up, dude, like whoop, straight down. Ruth's here. Hi, Ruth. She says, been a while. She's been traveling and spending time with the grands. Well, that's nice. And Jen is here as well. Okay, so anyways, that's what Walter's been busy on, planning how to spend our money. Lots of it, yeah. Okay, so announcements and things. Sewing with me on Wednesdays as usual. That's back on for those of you that may have missed when we started again. So that's back up. Links in the show notes. Now, next Saturday, special pop-up sew day. I always have this every year near my birthday. So it's Stephen's Birthday Bash pop-up sew day. Say that fast 5 times. Link will be in today's. When this goes to replay, it'll be in the show notes for this one, but it'll be in the show notes for everything next week. Now, for those of you that are new here or have never been to a pop-up sew day, how does this work? You don't have to register for it or anything like that. It's not like my retreats. You just come and go as you please. We start at about, well, I say it's a start time. I open the virtual doors at 8 a.m. Eastern Time. Now, you don't have to be here at 8 a.m. You can come, as I said, anytime you want to. The one difference about this pop-up sew day is that there are prizes. Yes. And being the nasty bugger that I am, in order to win a prize, you have to be physically on screen when the draw is going to take place. You'll get a countdown of about 5 minutes, so in case you have to go to the bathroom. And this is something I do as well on the retreat. So those of you that have been to retreat know how this works. But if you're not on screen for whatever reason at the time that I pull, and if I happen to pull your name goes back into the pool and I pull somebody else's name. So that's how that's going to work. I don't have a lot of prizes, but I have few, and most of them are going to be digital, obviously, because, you know, I would love to send you something in the mail, but I need to take out a second mortgage to afford the mail system for anything. So no, but they will be digital patterns. And though a few other people might get a Amazon gift certificate as well. Not for hundreds of thousands of dollars, but at least it will be better than nothing, or as in my family used to say, it's better than a kick in the head. So there you go. So that's this coming Saturday, July the 11th. So I hope lots of you are able to show up for it. It would be ideal if it was pouring rain that day.
And how old will you be?
None of your business. I'm 6 months older than you. I will be. It's technically not my birthday on July the 11th. My birthday is actually on July the 14th. And I will be 69 and holding. Yeah. Hard to believe. When I look in the mirror, I see a 30-year-old. Shut up. Just be quiet. Moisturizer. It's moisturizer.
Are you wearing your glasses when you do that?
Ha ha. Funny. He's so funny for someone that's 68 and a half. Yeah. But whatever. So, yeah. Okay, so what did we talk about last week? Well, Monday morning coffee with Stephen was alive. And I do that the last Monday of every month. So I don't know what the last Monday is in July because I haven't looked it up that far, but that will be alive too. The other ones are all pre-recorded. On the Idiot Quilter, we talked about comments, and I'm going to go over a few things that people said about it. Some people I think took exception to what I was saying about comments. They took it personally. As I said in that discussion, I wasn't picking on anybody in particular. I was just talking in general what most of us content creators experience and the different types of comments you can get. I didn't pinpoint any specific ones, just categories of comments. And my whole point in doing that is to let you know that, yeah, most of us as content creators do read the comments, and whatever is put in those comments, we take it to heart. We don't ignore it. Now, not always do we write back to a comment, because sometimes certain comments, you know, there's nothing more you can say to add to it. But I try to always acknowledge that you have sent me a comment and I've seen it. You may get a little heart, which means, yes, I have read it, and that kind of thing. And other ones I will make a comment back to the comment or whatever, especially if it's a question or something like that. But a few of you, well, I'm going to talk about one nasty person. Not today. You'll have to tune into the Idiot Quilter because I'm going to talk about one nasty person, which is the first time I'd ever seen this person, so I don't know if she is a new subscriber, and I'm not sure if I misinterpreted her comment. Gotta be careful with your words, but I'll talk about that on Tuesday. And on So Chatty this week, we had a conversation with Echo. Uh-oh.
Oops.
I shouldn't have said her name. Or his name, sorry. It's a male. But this was a continuation from what we had done the week before, where we went into like ChatGPT and Gemini and talked about quilt patterns and things. Well, we had this conversation with you know who about quilting and sewing and all kinds of things. And it's like you're talking to a person. It's kind of scary. And I got a lot of comments on that of people who were trying out their versions of these smart devices. Like there's Siri, there's Amazon, there's, Google and all of those ones. And as I said in that discussion we had, really, we can look at AI as an enemy and be fearful of it, but the fact is it's not going to go away. We might as well use it and use it to our best abilities for that kind of thing. So yeah. Let's see here. Dollar signs. What's that? Jen says, good afternoon. It says, Inez says, you won't get a sturdy sofa anymore. I have a French provincial, 54 years old, and have had it recovered. Cost more than the sofa, however, very sturdy. Yeah, I know. That's the thing. Even when I was buying back in 1995, the ones that I'm talking about upstairs, we had looked high and low. And we couldn't find anything that we liked. And I went to one place after school with another teacher. And, of course, I think we'd had drinks before because it was a Friday night. And then I saw the couch and chair and I came home and said to Walter, I said, I think I found it. I really like these
And you
ones.
bought it.
Did I actually buy it then?
Yes, you did. You informed me that you bought it.
Oops. Sounds like I pulled a Walter. Well, you liked it at the time.
Yeah.
I still like it.
Actually, it's a really comfortable couch.
Yeah, it is. It's just that the color scheme, it's blues and sort of pinky kind of shades in it, sort of thing. And it's pretty, but as I said, it's kind of an old lady couch by today's standards. In 1995, it was very trendy. So yeah, I think we'll look into recovering it to find somebody that can do that. That's decent. Dubrovka says, we're doing new bathroom and kitchen. You will need GoFundMe for sure when you get your estimate. Yeah,
I think any renovations, you have to pay that.
Are you getting a Japanese toilet? I think you said you might be. I don't know. I'm all about the Japanese toilets. You know that. Mary says is here. Mary is here. Hi, Mary. Adam says, does someone win the old hot tub too?
Yeah, if you can, we can ship it to you for, it only weighs about 1,500 pounds.
Yeah. Actually, if somebody wants it and they're willing to drive to our place and remove it from the back end of our house, and that we have a hill to go up to, you can have it for nothing. Not a problem. We'll even throw in a cup of coffee. Yeah, maybe some Timbits. John says, aging like a fine wine. Yes, red. You do realize that men and women age like wine. Women age like fine white wine, and men age like fine red wine. The problem with aging with white wine is you turn to vinegar in 3 years. Okay, I'm going to get hate mail. So Adam says, it's not fair. I'm aging like old cheese. Stephen doesn't look anywhere near his age. Thank you, Adam. You're now my best friend. I love you a lot.
Well, what? You look 80? He didn't say you look younger.
You can be replaced. Yeah.
So can you.
Yeah, right. Adam says, I refer to Alexa and she who must not be named. Oh, yeah. M says, I'm not sure about the zero gravity thing Stephen was talking about, but suddenly it came to me that super fancy massage chairs aren't popular in North America, right? Those chairs put you on the moon. Oh, well, yes, they are. Yeah. People do have them.
Well, we have a massage bed.
We have a massage bed, yeah, on it. But yeah, they're fairly popular.
Magic fingers.
Magic, put in another quarter. Yeah. Okay, so that's all the business and what we've been on. We've been rattling on now for quite a while. Okay, and everybody's going, yeah. And so what's unusual about that? Okay, so let's talk about what's happening in
We changed our mind about the Japanese toilet because we have a feeling if something went wrong, there would be no one to fix it.
That's not a bad thought. That kind of went through my head too. You know,
You can get Japanese toilet seats on a regular toilet, and then you just have to get the toilet seat fixed.
Yeah.
So
that might be a question like when we get around to, you know, having someone come in and look at our bathroom at that and say them, well, we're thinking about this, but what do they like to repair, and who does it, and how often do they break it down?
Toto is Toto.
Yeah, Toto.
Toto.
Yeah, like the dog.
Is one of the most popular brands of Japanese toilet seats.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's just a dream at the moment.
It's a thought.
The only reason I would go back to Japan is for their bathrooms. So but let us look at what's in the Canadian news, what's happening here in our country. Okay, so sports and culture, skip the FIFA, I don't care. But Tommy Hunter.
Canada lost.
Yeah, who cares? I don't care if we win or we lose. It doesn't matter to me. It's just a bunch of grown men kicking their balls around. Tommy Hunter. Now, if you're Canadian, you'll know who Tommy Hunter is. If you are not a Canadian, you may not know. Tommy Hunter is an icon of country music in Canada. He was on CBC television for about 27 years. I remember my parents would tune into it on, I think it was usually on a Saturday night, maybe a Friday night, the Tommy Hunter show. As a kid, I was pretty much bored with it because I'm not a fan of country.
Yeah, my
music.
parents used to watch it too.
Yeah, but everybody in Canada knows who Tommy Hunter is.
That's probably because we could only get one station.
Well, that might have been it too. He was called the Country Gentleman, as it says here, and he died of natural causes. It wasn't anything drastic, but I thought he was already dead, actually.
Yeah, I think he was only 89.
Yeah, that's what it says. There it was. And of course, the annual Calgary Stampede out west in Calgary, of course. Another Canadian iconic event. Never been, but it's a rodeo kind of thing. But it's, you know, it's a biggie. So, extreme weather. Yeah, there's been severe flooding in some places on Canada Day in Ottawa, the big festivities. They had to cancel the evening festivities because it rained cats and dogs and there was flooding and all kinds of things, which wasn't really nice. And they had a great lineup of talent and they had to cancel the whole thing. Of course, we've been undergoing these sweltering heat waves, as they call them. There's what do they call it? A heat dome or something.
And there was a lot of power outages in Ontario around Canada Day as well. We didn't get hit, but a lot of other places got hit.
Yeah, with it.
And it says here that there's power outages in Halifax. And
and forcing the cities to open cooling relief spaces. That, you know, okay. Everybody goes on and on about this heat, and the media especially. You know, the weathermen are always happiest when there's a disaster in the weather, as they call it, you know, the storms of the century and everything. And you can just see them opening bottles of champagne and running amok all over in their newsroom. But when we were kids, it was hot in summer in July. And we both grew up. There was no air conditioning. You know, we had a fan.
My parents had a fan they put inside the window frame. Yeah. And it would suck semi-warm, coolish air from the outside in.
Like, and I didn't have, didn't live in a house with central air conditioning until we bought our first house.
Well, my parents had air conditioning.
Well, they were progressive.
Uh,
My parents were not.
but then my dad bought this great big huge window air conditioner and put it in a basement window and attached it to the furnace somehow. But the only problem was it was hard to adjust the temperature. So there were days that you froze to death. And
But I mean, and we were out running around all the time. I mean, sweaty little kids. I remember we'd come in the house, you know, the street lights went on. Summer, we'd be in the house, and my mother says, "Get in the bathroom, take a bath." Because we were sweaty, we were grimy, we were kids. That's what we did, you know. But now it's like, oh, the temperature goes, you know, above 24 degrees C, and suddenly everybody's dying. You know, check on the old people. No one's come to check on us. We could be in here like laid out on the floor rotting. Who's coming to check? And my family doesn't. But I don't know. I'm not. And then, of course, we have the whole thing hanging over our heads about, is this all part of global warming? Is it or isn't it? Maybe it is. Maybe it's not. I heard something today, actually, on the news that said that we could expect this kind of thing to happen every 8 to 10 years. Well, okay. That would say to me that that's, in other words, that's normal chain of events. I don't know. So, yeah, in Toronto, they've opened up all these cooling centers and everything. You know, I think we're just a bunch of pansies out there because we're so used to central air for most people that as soon as the temperature goes up and we walk outside and the humidity hits us, we're dying. Our cars are all air conditioned. Mine's not. It used to be. Not anymore. You know, and we're all dying because we've climatized ourselves to staying cool. So, I don't know. It is what it is.
I mean, your parents really never had air conditioning.
No.
Even in the more recent years.
They had a ceiling fan.
Yeah.
They put that in one time. It was that, well, eventually they got, well, they had that.
They had the one that your brother bought, but then they stopped using it because they decided it was too expensive to use.
Yeah, it was using up electricity on that kind of thing, but they survived. And then there's something called the Snow Mountain Persists. I hadn't heard of this. A massive compacted pile of winter snow in Barrie, Ontario, that's north of us, continues to defy the summer heat wave well into July. So I'm assuming that's what they scraped off of parking lots, or where they took the snow when they took it from the streets and they put it in big piles. Well, the reason this stuff isn't melting is because it's probably laden with salt. And salt slows down the melting process. That's what they used to use back in the days before, when they had ice boxes and the Iceman cometh, and they'd have
made ice cream.
And made ice cream, yeah. So, yeah. I don't know. Maybe it could become a tourist attraction. And in politics and crime, we've got the pipeline and separatism feuds. Okay, so on Canada Day out in Alberta, a bunch of the separatist people who want to make Alberta its own country and all this stuff, the yahoos out there, they all got together for a little rally. Okay, I'm going to show you a picture of these people because there's some similarities here to Trumpers. Let me find it. Which button is it? There it is. Okay. Here they are. Don't they look like a clever group? They look like a bunch of bloody freaking hillbillies. I mean, you're lucky if you've got a full set of teeth in the front row. Wow, when the wind blows, it whistles through their gap. Like, okay, so these are the people that want to separate. Yeah, can see they've really thought about this good. Am I making fun of them? Damn right I am, because they're traitors to our country. There's no two ways about it. And that premier of theirs out in Alberta, you know, she's a traitor too. Although she's starting to backtrack now because she's decided that maybe this isn't going to be good for her in her political future. Oh, this is a sad story. Life sentences in foster care. There was this lesbian couple who foster cared a 12-year-old boy and his brother. And now I'm not yeah, the 12-year-old boy basically in their care died because they didn't feed him. They locked them up, didn't let them go outside. They took them out of school, supposedly being homeschooled.
I think the other boy's still alive.
He is alive, the other one. They charged them, and they've charged them with murder, and they've had their day in court, and they've been found guilty. So they got a life imprisonment, plus there's a whole bunch of other charges that have years knocked onto it as well. They are eligible for parole in 25 years time, but they claim they didn't do anything wrong. It is sad. They had pictures. Like, they can't show these kids their faces, but they showed the conditions that these kids were living in and a whole bit. You wouldn't put any living thing in that situation. Like, the only reason that and how did they qualify to be foster parents as well? And apparently the Child Protection Services, they were called by the school. There was a teacher when those boys were in school. She suspected they were being abused. Now, as a teacher, you are contracted under law. You have to report it, even if it's a suspicion, even if you don't have any real proof. But if you watch a kid come into your classroom and they're black and blue or look like they're not being fed properly, it is your responsibility to report this to to your school administration, who report it to the child, the CA, what we call the child, CAS?
CPA? No,
that's CPA. What is it? It's not Child Protection Agency. That's American, but it's the same thing. Yeah. In there. And she reported it 4 times. And finally, the principal of the school contacted the Child Protection Services, and the Child Protection Services ignored it. Didn't go out and check.
So they should be in jail too.
Yes, they should be charged with it. Well, now it's all under review for, a committee to make suggestions for how they can do better in the future. You know where that goes. But just ridiculous, really. It's a very sad thing. Apparently there's foreign interference warnings. National Threat Assessment revealed intelligence that Iran's security services may have directed localized acts of violence inside Canada. Maybe not. We have had some problems in Canada. It could have been cited. We have had American instigators of this kind of stuff come to Canada too, as well. Yeah, that's a fact. I'm not making it up. Yeah, moving on. I don't know what this stuff, who cares? The rest of this is, this was interesting. There is a police officer out in Vancouver who has ALS, and he's on this experimental brain implant.
Yeah.
Neuralink. It's Elon Musk, so about that. But it's allowing him to, because, you start to lose your communication. I mean, there's no cure for ALS, and it shuts down your every function in your body.
And I think a lot of people die because your body stops ability to breathe.
Yeah.
Your body, yeah.
But it also, one of the things that'll go will your ability to communicate. So this neural implant allows him to communicate through a computer screen and stuff. And he can move his cursor around just by thinking about it. So it's got a lot of potential. It's not a cure, but I mean, there's a lot of stuff that could be used for a lot of other situations as well. So that's kind of positive. The only negative about this is it's Elon Musk. So, will it work like a Tesla? Not well. Who knows? But anyways, it's something that is kind of positive in the medical field. Okay, so that's all the news. Let's go here and see what people are saying, and then we'll move on to the next thing. Okay, where is it? Oh, it's up here already. There we go. Okay, so you people don't need to see that. Let's see, back up. There's lots of stuff around. Sure, zero gravity. Okay. Changed our mind. Adam says, my brother has a really weird plumbing setup for his downstairs toilet. It's elevated on a plinth to house the plumbing. Makes you feel like the queen when you need to use it. I have been in places in the UK with that. It's like you're on stage going to the bathroom. Yeah, it must have.
Well, actually, one of the places we stayed in Japan, remember that
Oh,
hotel?
the one, yeah,
You always,
in Okinawa.
4 Points Flex Sheraton. It was a small hotel. It was an older hotel that was taken over. And I think they retrofitted the place with bathrooms. So you had to have about a foot step to get into the bathroom.
Yeah. It wasn't so bad getting into the bathrooms. When you came out, watch that first step, because it's a wonder it was a big drop, actually. But we have been in places in the UK where we have stayed where in the bathroom that gets raised up a little bit. I'm not sure, maybe that's for the plumbing underneath.
Yeah. I think the place that we stayed in Japan had it was for the plumbing.
Yeah.
It was an older place, and there was no place to put the plumbing, so they had to put it underneath the bathroom after it's been retrofitted.
And Inez says they don't need air conditioning here. Yep.
Well, you just put a fan on an iceberg and
yeah, and blow it in. Dana says she met Tommy Hunter in the red and white grocery store in Lorne Park, Ontario, when she was a teenager. Are you still swooning, Dana? Mary says we've always had the first color TV and air conditioner because my dad owned a home furnishing store. Oh, aren't you fancy? I remember seeing my first color television. We went to visit my grandmother in the town my grandmother lived in, and my dad had to go in to see this man about something on our way home. And he comes out to the car. He says, come here. Got us all in. He says, they've got a color TV. And we all walked in and looked at the color TV. And that, because we did not have a color TV. In fact, my parents didn't have a color TV until, well, my brother and sister and I bought them their first color TV.
Well, we had our first color TV when I was in grade 7 or 8.
Yeah, we always had black and white when I was growing up as a kid with it. So, of course, mind you, black and white was fun with a box of crayons. You just colored in. Color TV. Let's see. Rachel is here. Hi, Rachel. Not spending money on aircon for the 11 days of hot weather we get in the UK. Yeah, and your electricity is very expensive in the UK from what I've seen on YouTube videos and stuff. So I can see why you wouldn't want the air conditioning. Ruth says foster care agencies are required to conduct regular oversight and eyes on the children. Sounds like a major lapse. Yeah, well, that's what they said, and they didn't do that. Yeah, it was a major lapse. Kid died. Okay, so
not only that, if he hadn't died, I'm sure the other one has major traumatic experience.
Well, I'm sure he did, like with it. So, yeah. All right. So today's topic was. Oh, by the way, more so for the Canadians, but I think you Americans would enjoy it too. Bryan Adams, who is a major Canadian iconic star of music, he just came out with a new song, and it's called The 51st State. And it is good. It's got a good beat to it. I have put a link to the YouTube video for it down in the show notes, so you might want to check it out if you haven't heard of it before. It's a good piece of movie, and it's definitely directed at Trump, as you will find in the lyrics. Okay, so last weekend was Pride weekend in Toronto. We went in the day before. We talked all about that and everything as well. But people are confused by the alphabet soup, is what I call it. It used to be LGB. Actually, it used to be just LG. But then that's an appliance company. And then it's LGB, lesbian, gay, bi. Actually, it used to be GLB. But then they switched the letters around, and there's a reason for that. We'll come to it. Then they added more letters to it. So LGBT for transgendered, Q for queer, and then there's a 2, SL, and then there's some other letters on the end of it. Well, the whole letter business goes 2, SL, G, plus. Okay, so what does all of that really mean? Well, let us see, because there's a lot of people are confused by this, and also a lot of people are confused about why do you have to have that many letters. We asked the same question. So here it is. Let's start up here just a second. All right, so this is what it stands for. 2SLGBTQIA+ stands for two-spirit, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgendered, queer or questioning, intersex, and asexual, and additional sexual orientations and gender identities. That's the plus. It's used as an inclusive umbrella term to represent the vast spectrum of human sexuality, gender identity, and sex characteristics. Okay, it's a little much. Why can't they just go back to the good old days where it was just gay? Or if you want to be modern and you want to include everybody in it, call it the Rainbow Group or Rainbow Connection. You know, I mean, I know the Muppets did that already, but whatever. So what's the breakdown? Well, what is 2S? Two-spirit. This refers to North American peoples, the indigenous North American peoples, to describe a person who embodies both a masculine and feminine spirit. Placing 2S at the very front of the acronym is a practice particularly common in Canada to honor and recognize indigenous peoples as the first sexual and gender diverse communities. Also in the two-spirit community, the Native people feel that there are individuals in their society that have both the feminine and masculine characteristics. Now, they're not, well, they may be the first to come up with this, but I mean, this is kind of union theory as well. The animus and animus and anima, or whatever they called it, which Jung talked about, psychologist, right? And everything. Now, I heard about that when I was taking some psychology courses in university. There's more to it than just that. But they consider these people sacred in their community. They're honored within their society. So they're there at the front of it. Now, funny story about this. I worked with a teacher who is a bit of an intellectual snob. And he was an English teacher. And we had a book club. And there was a bunch of it. It was basically an excuse to drink and socialize. But he was reading this one book, and I forget the title of the book. It was a Canadian author. And he liked to, we used to have these book club things on a Friday night once a month. He would come and he had notes. He made notes about different parts in the book, and it was very intellectual. Most of us were too busy having a drink and hors d'oeuvres to even care, and went, oh yeah, you go for it. Well, he had this whole theory about the term two-spirited that was in this book. And it had nothing to do with the gay community at all. And he went on and on about how this in the book and everything. And so I said, Jason, I said, two-spirited means Native people who are part of the LGBT community. And he looked at me and he went, okay, never mind. Because he went on for days. He didn't know what two-spirited meant, which, okay, understandably, why? But it changed the whole, I said to him, well, it changes the whole theme of the book. The book is gay themed. The main character is gay. Well, that puts a different reading on it, doesn't it? Uh-huh. With it, I have to admit, I felt a little smug about that at the time. Al, of course, is lesbian or a non-binary person. They're lumping non-binary people in with that term, and non-binary people do not like to be lumped in with that category. They want their own. I don't know what that's going to be. I guess they figure the plus sign covers them.
Yeah, because there are people that tend to be more masculine they consider themselves to be non-binary as well. So.
Yeah. So non-binary is a hard one to get your head around, really. Basically, they don't identify with any sexual gender at all. Of course, G is for gay. We know what that's all about. B for bisexual. I mean, funny story here. When we were younger and the term bisexual started to come in vogue, you know, and they're bisexual individuals, we just went, they were greedy. We didn't believe there was such a thing as a bisexual person. They were just somebody who couldn't make up their mind. Well, no, we have had an education since then. And yes, there truly are people who, you know, how do you put it gently? Any port in a storm. That's kind of derogatory. I shouldn't say that. But there, it does exist. Now, of course, now we have transgendered people. And it's kind of an umbrella term. And that, of course, is people whose gender identity differs from what it was assigned at birth. You know, the best way to say it, and it's more complicated than what I'm going to say, but is basically, I guess Shania Twain said it best, you know. Well, no, she didn't. She said, I feel like a man. No, she said, I feel like a woman. It's basically, they are somebody trapped. They don't identify with their biological sex. They identify with the opposite sex.
However, their attraction...
Yeah, that gets confusing.
Doesn't change. So if someone that is born as a male and identifies as a female, if they were originally attracted to women, they will still be attracted to women as a female.
Yeah, and there was a term, I don't know if it's widely used anymore for that, but they were called... that guy you worked with, that
Chris.
Trans lesbian.
Oh yeah, that's where a guy I worked with, he was a very hairy English man, and turned out he identified, he was transgender, and he identified as a woman, and he went through the whole what's it?
Well, he went through hormone treatment
and
everything.
he had all his hair removed. And but he still identified as having an attraction for women. So when he became a woman, he became what was
not become a woman. When he came to identify as
a woman, and he transitioned, he was still attracted to women. So he considered himself or her self as a trans lesbian.
Trans lesbian, yeah. That was a term that was being thrown around at one point. I haven't heard that term used in a long time. I think it was fleeting with that. Now, the Q for queer or questioning. Queer is a broad umbrella term for sexual orientations and gender identities outside of heterosexual and cisgender norms. Questioning refers to individuals who are exploring their own sexual orientation or gender identity. Okay, I have a really big problem with the word queer, as most people of my generation do. When we heard queer when we were younger, that meant weird. That meant abnormal. It was a term, it was a derogatory term for people that were members of the LGBTQ community out of it. So I still do not like that word at all. The younger people now have adopted the word, and what I've heard is they've adopted the word and they're taking it back. They're owning it. So you will hear them say, yeah, I'm queer, or something like that. But to me, that is still a derogatory term, and it always will be, because of, you know, for us older people, I know the language changes, and the language does change, in English especially. But that word, no. I will never use that word to describe myself. Intersex. Now this one's now moving into more physical kind of thing. People born with natural variations in reproductive anatomy, chromosomes, or hormonal levels that do not fit the conventional medical definitions of male or female. The old term for intersex was androgynous, or oh, what did they call people that were born with both?
Hermaphrodites.
Hermaphrodite. Yeah, the one people that were born with both genitalia on that. The problem with intersex is, depending on where you live, there are people when a child was born and they had both genitalia, the doctors and the parents would make a decision as to which they were going to be and would have surgery done to make them that way. Now I think the general feeling is, and this only happens in so many thousands of births, is to wait till the child comes to the age of being able to make their own decisions, kind of thing, and let them decide whether or not they want to have surgery for this. So yeah. And then there's A for asexual, someone who experiences little to no sexual attraction to others, though they may still experience romantic attraction. I have an asexual individual in my family as well. And yeah, they just, whatever. And that's fine. Takes the pressure off, I suppose. And then the plus is everybody else. Represents the infinite variety of identities that exist outside the specific letters listed in the acronym, such as pansexual, non-binary, agender, and aromantic. Okay. All of these other people tend to think, and this is the problem I have with all the letters more than anything, they're labels. As soon as you try to label somebody, or when you give somebody a label, you're boxing them in. That they must act this way. They must be this way. They must look this way. They must think this way. They must behave this way. And we know that human beings don't. It's a spectrum. Sometimes you feel like a queer, sometimes you don't. I don't know, kind of a deal. So I don't think we should have this term, this alphabet soup. It's confusing. And what?
Yeah, you're right. I don't think we need the terms. I don't think you need to box people into a group, a specific group, because then it also still causes a lot of problems, because somebody that may identify as heterosexual, but then suddenly think of something else, like suddenly have an attraction or something, or I see another man as maybe attractive or something like that. A man might suddenly think he's gay or something and get scared of that or something. And I don't think that's right. I think people have,
yeah, carry on.
It's a big spectrum.
Yeah, it's a spectrum. It's shades of gray.
Yeah.
More than 50. With that, I lost that. That's why I'm putting it back here.
And that's where you get the discrimination and everything too, is people don't understand it, and then they get scared of it.
Yeah. So I don't agree with having the labels for it all. Let's see, just back up here because there's some questions. Okay. Rachel says, I had a question, forgot to ask. Why do the ladies parade on a different day? Not seen that over here. Okay. This has been a point of contention for many years in Toronto. What Rachel's referring to is the Dyke Parade, which is always held the day before the main Pride Parade in Toronto.
And actually, they usually participate in both.
Yeah, they usually participate in both. They didn't like to... Okay, someone asked me about, well, aren't you all gay? Doesn't the term gay work with it? No. The ladies do not like the term gay. They prefer lesbian or dyke.
Though they sometimes refer to themselves as gay.
They will sometimes, yeah. But usually if you want to get their dander up, call them gay. Because you see, the word gay over time has become more associated with men. And of course, lesbian is more the women. So they have their own special little parade. It's not much. It's just the ladies marching down the street. Some of them Well, they usually start the parade with what they call dykes on bikes. These are the motorcycle mamas, the ladies who love to ride a Harley. And that's tradition because it's been going on for years, this kind of thing in Toronto. And they all march down. It's pretty boring, although
But
the Pride
it's gotten
Parade's
quite
becoming
big, actually.
Yeah, there were a lot of ladies who
And there are also men that march.
well,
in
we'll
there
march
too.
with them to show solidarity with the
Yeah,
lesbians.
yeah. So it's basically people decided they thought that the Pride Parade was too men centric.
Yeah, two male centric.
Male centric, and they wanted their own
Yeah.
representation.
And, of course, like any parade, you will see things that really children should not see. Well, I don't know. In Ontario, it is legal for the ladies to go topless
Any day.
any day of the week, anywhere in Ontario.
However, we don't usually see it too much.
You don't usually see that too much. But on the Pride Parade, especially the Dyke March, you will see it. Well, of course, in the gay parade on the next day, you will see there are a group of men, they're nudists, and they're out there.
And actually, technically, you're not supposed to have.
You can have your tops off, but you're not supposed to have your bottoms off, either sex.
Either sex, but they turn a blind eye to that for that day.
And the unfortunate part of all of this is
they're the ones you don't want to see.
It's not the one, those are not the ones you want to see. So, yeah. But anyway, so that's why they sort of, it's because they want, they're showing that they're protesting against a male centric world, I guess. Okay. By doing that. Let's see here. Oh, Adam's having something installed professionally. Ralph have been telling people to use it in the winter for heating. Oh, they're talking about heating things. Let's see. Direct swap. Okay. We have Google. Thanks for the info. I agree with that too. It was always yeah. Adam says I agree with that too. It was always a derogatory term. Oh, the queer. Yeah. And Debbie Dobbins agrees with it as well. Adam says, in an ideal world, there wouldn't be any need for any terminology and bigots wouldn't exist and everyone could just be happy loving whoever they want. But you want to know something? I think those of us that are part of the community are our own worst enemies for this because we perpetuate the labels. And so...
I mean, like when we grew up, we knew there was lesbians and gays, but then we never ever heard and we knew that there were trans people, but we never ever... heard anybody identify as non-binary.
Yeah.
So
that
came later on.
Yeah, later. But the thing is, we're pigeonholing ourselves into a category. Here's an example of what I'm talking about. We have been asked many times in our life, so which one's the male and which one's the female? Or which one does the stuff that a woman does and which one does the stuff the male does? Or they try to be subtle. Who does the laundry? Who does the cooking?
Well,
and
we both do the laundry.
Yeah, we absolutely hate that. And if anybody asks us that, we straighten them out really quickly. We do what our strengths lead us to. There are certain things that Walter does better than I do, so he looks after those. There's certain things I do better than Walter. Yes, I know you doubt that. That I do better than Walter. And I do those. That's how it works. There is no who's the girl, who's the boy, or any of that kind of stuff. And, if by any chance you've ever thought of asking a gay couple that question or asking a lesbian couple that question, don't. It's showing your ignorance when you do that. Let's see here. Rachel says, Oh, okay. Strange to me. My daughter refers to herself as gay, doesn't like other terms. I don't want to see myself nude either, near mind a bunch of strangers. Yeah, well, that's to each their own, and it depends on what part of the world you're in, too, with it. So, like I wouldn't refer to myself as queer. I don't like it. So, and if that's what she wants to be, like if that's what she wants to use, that's fine.
Dubrovka had a pot question.
Where?
The problem.
Questions for Walter. I'm thinking of buying all clad plots. Did you buy 3-ply or 5-ply?
Most of mine are 3-ply, and I have one that's 5-ply. The 5-ply takes a little longer to cool off, but both are good. I mean, I can't tell you which one's better than the other. The only thing I don't like about the all-clad pots, and I'm not sure if it's any difference with any of the other ones, made-in is supposed to be pretty much the same, but I haven't got any made-in ones. The only thing I don't like is they don't stack very well.
So there. Adam says, why are people so fascinated with who does what? My brother is straight and does all the cooking and cleaning most of the time. So what? Yeah, well, my brother, he does all the cooking. He's straight.
Yeah, my brother-in-law, married to my sister, he does a lot of the cooking. So
Rachel says, do you find it's the older generation that asks you a question like that? Yes. Yeah, it is. Younger generation don't really. Ruth says, sexual identity, gender, assigned sex at birth, and sexual preferences are all different constructs, biological and social. And yes, on a continuum, makes a lot of people very uncomfortable. Yeah, they are all constructs. Our society is desperate for labeling everything. You know, we're happy when we have a label maker and we can stick labels on everything. It helps us understand our world for some reason better. We have a hard time as human beings handling gray. We like everything to be black and white. It's good or it's bad. It's the truth or it's a lie. Everything is set up on contradictions. And that's why people will turn around and think in this way, that one of you in a gay relationship as a couple must play the woman and the other one must play the man. We're not playing at anything. We are who we are, period.
I mean, if you live alone, which I did for a while, if you live alone, you have to do everything, male, female, centric type things, to survive. So as when you end up coupling up or something, you just end up doing things that you like to do and more than the other one does. So
yeah, so I mean, yeah, but people need reference points apparently. And so we tend to, if those questions come up or whatever, we try to educate people on that. We're just people. We have our strengths. So another thing that confuses many people is the pride flag. Now, the first thing everybody thinks about is that there's one pride flag, it has colored stripes. No, there is more than one pride flag. There they are. This one I found says a guide to pride flags. Now, the one that most people associate right now with is this one right here that has 6 colors. But the pride flag, when it was originally created, had 8 colors. The reason it only has 6 is they cut it down to 6 is because at the time it was created, it was very expensive to print certain colors like the pink and the indigo. So they cut it down to 6 for that. Now they give these names for things. The flag that you'll now see fairly common, and this is wrong. They call it the pansexual pride.
no, that's the one that's progress.
Oh, sorry. This
You
is
gotta look at the top.
okay. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong things. Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought because I saw bisect. Never mind. So the Progress Pride flag is the one that has the 6 colors, but it also has the colors in these triangles for the sexual community, and it also has
Bisexual community.
for the bisexual community, the
Yeah.
brown and the black. But
No,
wait, isn't that
it's the pink and
the pink and the blue? It's transgender.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh, okay, yeah.
These are for, I think, the bi.
Okay, I'm
and
on
that.
that track.
Then they've added a circle. The circle in the yellow triangle in here is for intersex that we already talked about. So the flags have gotten very complicated, but there are lots of them. There's the bisexual pride flag, which is this one. You have the straight ally, has the stylized rainbow flag, and the black and white stripes, which
I've never seen that one.
I haven't seen that one either before, but I'm thinking I don't like that one
No.
because, okay, black and white, like, okay, for straight, meaning like they don't see any variation, and then there's all of us in the color. I don't know. Me, I'm reading too much in it. Something called the polysexual pride. Not really sure what that is. Pansexual. Never understood that one. Polyamory pride. Okay,
Consensual
consent relationships with multiple partners. Well, that's slut. And they have pi in the center. The symbol for pi. I don't know. This one, actually, when we were watching on YouTube, the Pride Parade in Toronto, when it was on there, we saw this flag. And I had never really seen this before. And this is called the aromatic pride. Or is that aromatic?
No feeling of romantic attraction to others.
Okay, so I don't know how this
Is
works.
that sort of asexual?
Maybe. Lesbian pride. Gay men pride. Okay, I have never seen either one of these two
I haven't
flags.
seen those either.
Asexual pride, never seen that. Demisexual. Sexual attraction only with a strong emotional bond. Okay. Slut. Gender flux. One's gender changes over time. Oh, can't make up your mind. Actually, just to backtrack for a second, I worked with a teacher who identified as being lesbian when she first was hired by my school and was in my department. And in later years, she ended up marrying a man.
Well, I also knew a lady that I used to socialize with when I was younger and when I was in school. And she, later on, I found out that she was lesbian and she was living with a woman for several years. And then all of a sudden I ran into her and she was married to a man.
Yep. So I guess her flag would be that one.
Yeah.
Agender pride, having no gender. Okay.
Did you miss transgender?
Oh,
pride?
did I? Oh, yeah. Strip down. Transgender. Okay, we know the transgender one. Non-binary, and you will see these colors anyways.
Yeah.
Non-binary pride, having gender that's not exclusively male or female. Okay. I'm not going to pretend I understand non-binary people. Gender queer, having no normative gender. I don't know what that means. Gender fluid pride, having no fixed gender. What? You were born like a Ken doll with no genitalia?
One day you feel like one day you feel like a man, and the other
day
day
you feel like a woman. I guess I don't know. Now, neutrois,
difference or
absence of gender neutral. Some of these overlap.
Yeah, I know. I don't know.
Agender pride, having no gender. Demigender, having a partial connection to a gender. Well, I just have my moments where I just feel so girlish. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know why you need all these different flags.
I don't know. Bigender pride. Okay. Intersex pride. Okay. So we've seen that symbol. Queer pride. Okay. This one's got too many colors. Omnisexual. Attracted to all genders, but gender matters. Attracted to all... Okay, slut. BDMS rights. Oh, okay. Beat me. Hit me with a whip. Leather pride. Okay. Rubber pride. Okay. Squeaky. I am making fun of these people on purpose because
I think
they're ridiculous.
There's too many flags.
Trigender pride. Oh my God, there's 3 sexes now? Switches between genders depending on environment or mood. Okay. Equal human rights. Fights for equal rights for LGBT.
We knew that.
Okay, we knew that. Drag pride. Okay. Demi-boy. A person who identifies with aspects of masculinity regardless of sex at birth.
Okay.
And okay. And demi-pride, a person who demi-girl pride, who aspects of, okay, tomboy. I don't know. These are ridiculous. These are ridiculous. And this is just an example of how ridiculous the labels have become. Everybody wants a flag. Everybody wants an initial in it. we need to stop this. This is harming our community more than it's helping. You know, like, it is bad enough that now you have to watch your pronouns. Okay? You know, and that's, you know, and people are writing on the ends of business letters or human, or what do you call it, memos in business, you know, and my pronouns are he,
And
his, and him, or she and her, you know, like, hi, my name's Stephen. That's all you need to know. Okay? Don't judge me by my pronouns. Don't judge me by my initial. Don't judge me by my flag. I am me. Judge me by my character.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen too many of the other flags, depending on where we were. In fact, a lot
Yeah.
of these are new to me. So.
Oh yeah, these are, I haven't seen many
No.
of these out there in the wild. But anyways, so I hope you got a bit of an education if you didn't know some of these things. You know, I thought it was worth exploring today. And yeah, before we go, let's catch up on comments. Let's see. Adam says this also makes it easier for the people in charge to convince and influence certain labeled groups to behave in a way they want to. And that's exactly what's happening, especially right now under the Trump administration. He is trying to annihilate transgender people. You know, like, they did have laws in certain states where people, if they didn't identify as male or female, they could identify as other on their passports. Well, he's telling them they can't do that anymore.
You have to go by what you're assigned at birth.
So what's his name? Caitlyn Jennings, you know, who is one of the most famous Jenner, sorry. One of the most famous transgender. I mean, it was Bruce Jenner, you know, the Olympic athlete back in the 70s and all that. He's written letters to Trump about it because apparently she, yeah, got to get the pronouns right. She has to change her passport, or she will not be allowed to have a passport. And she has to change it so that it marks what she was born at birth, which was male. And that's one of the most famous cases, and he's not doing anything about it. I don't understand why people fear transgender people. They're not hurting anybody. But then again, why do people fear lesbians and gays and all of that? You know, oh, we're wrecking family values. Oh, that's right. I'm coming into your home and I'm going to be a predator on your children. I'm going to try to convert them all to our ideology and all this stuff. It's nuts. And I think the labels here don't do anything to make that situation better. If anything, it's just as Adam says, I think they're using it as ammunition against us in the community. John says, Paula, Maury, Stephen, and Walter, and Lucy. Oh, yes, we do have a triangle happening there. Yep. Ruth says, I had clients several years ago where the husband was transitioning. They were successful adults who had children. They loved each other and are still together. I learned a great deal from them. Yeah. You know, whatever makes you happy, you know. So, yeah, it's nobody's business except your own. Adam says, everybody wants a medal. Yeah, sports day at schools are non-competitive anymore, but the parents see who wins the races. Yeah, this is true. So anyways, that's it for today. Everything you want to know, maybe some you didn't, about, you know, the letters, the flags, all that stuff. So thanks for joining us for this. Tune in next week for usual programming, and I hope to see many of you at my birthday bash, because if you don't show up, I will hate you. Yeah. No, really. Okay, so everybody have a great week, and we'll see you all soon. Bye for now.
Bye for now. Oops.
Gotta hit the right button.
Okay, I don't see all those flags.
So